All right, it's time to take you to the movies. A black man becomes a white supremacist in a new Spike Lee film, and it's a true story.
And it's Shark Week for Jason Statham, and film critic Michael Cook's here to review BlacKkKlansman and The Meg.
Yes, let's talk about the BlacKkKlansman first. As you mentioned, it is based on the true story. Basically, it's set in the mid-1970s. There you see John David Washington, who's actually Denzel Washington's son. Washington becomes a police officer in Colorado Springs, the first African-American police officer at that department. Through a series of events, this young man on a lark calls up an ad for the KKK and portrays himself as white. And here you see him talking to the David Duke character. And the police department comes up with this scheme where Washington, an African-American, will be himself on the phone, but there Philip Driver, who you see in the foreground, will actually be the person in front of the KKK. So these two men are playing the same person in ways to infiltrate the KKK. There, Adam Driver just is fantastic in this role. This is just another fantastic Spike Lee movie. He's one of my all-time favorite directors. The story what's crazy about it, it's mostly true. I'm sure there's some embellishments like on all Hollywood stories, but as the movie goes on, it touches on different themes that are very relevant today in terms of even some of the same language from the 1970s to today in terms of racism and equality, so on and so forth. I thought this was a fantastic movie. John David Washington, I think, has a very, very bright future. Of course, he comes from a fantastic lineage with Denzel Washington. Some of the other characters in this film are also top-notch. So I highly recommend this movie. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Whoa,
9 out of 10.
So, do you find yourself laughing a lot?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's basically a comedy with some drama thrown in there.
Okay. So I think the whole idea is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy idea, but it was still, they pulled it out just nicely. So the next movie to talk about is called The Meg. Meg is short for megalodon, which is a prehistoric shark. Here, the basic plot of the movie is Jason Statham plays a deep-sea diver rescuer who's, kind of down on his luck. He's brought back to this research station in the middle of the China Sea. There you see the megalodon attacking the research facility, and Jason Statham he and the rest of the crew must figure out a way to kill this prehistoric, massive shark that eats and destroys everything in its wake. This is just a classic B movie in terms of it's not Shakespeare, it's not Citizen Kane. There's going to be lots of shark, ripping up boats and eating various things. Although it's PG-13, so it's not quite as gory as you would think, but it's still, look, it's a thing-eating machine. Nothing can stop in its way. Of course, because Jason Statham's in this movie, they of course find a way to take his shirt off because that's why he's in this movie.
Of course,
nonetheless. Good special effects. While I was watching this movie, my expectations were low, and I was watching, I thought to myself, this is not that bad. Okay, this is all right.
So you're going to give it more than a 4?
Yeah, for what you take it for what it is. Shark scenes and people put in danger.
Oh, not Fifi.
Fifi. I think we'll see what happens. And of course, there's the scene where the shark comes toward the beach. Does he get people? Does he not? This is just popcorn summer fare. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So
he does not get Fifi. It's not going to happen.
The big cliffhanger of the movie is not going to happen. So you have two very different choices this weekend, depending what you're in the mood for. But I do recommend BlacKkKlansman first.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Good Day.